Hello, and welcome to the SEESCast. I'm your host Joe with guests Harry, who is not a guest, he's always here because he's the one that records,
I
and
have to be here, otherwise we will
Scrappy.
die.
Yes, he has a dead man switch and everything. It's horrible.
Yeah.
And we have Scrappy.
Good salutations, folks.
Well, I wouldn't want the bad salutations. So yes,
Yeah.
today we're talking about Spyro 4 and what we want to see in it.
Yes. Uh. Yeah. This could be a quick one. I don't really know how much we have to say about this, so we'll just kind of see what happens. But yeah.
Okay. Real.
Why is my audio? Why is my internet's cutting out? Goodness gracious!
This is quality. Um.
So annoying. Your internet's always cutting out, but it's never cutting in.
It's cutting
Mm-hmm.
And Scrappy
into
died.
my heart, and seriously, the ads on
This is amazing.
Yeah. Go on.
Nothing's working today. It's great.
roast.
Everything is broken. Everything is awful, and it's gone to. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so because we could not decide on a topic,
Yes.
Oh my god.
So because we couldn't
because
decide on a topic and Scrappy is cutting out, I'm taking over the bit that I'm assuming he wants to say. Our original topic plan has been put on the back burner, and we'll be talking about this instead.
Right. Pretty much.
she sells seashells by the sea.
You almost got that.
So,
Do I
who
sound
wants to
clearer
start?
now?
Test. Hi.
Hello.
Do I sound clearer now?
You do.
For the moment, yes.
All right, then let's see how long that lasts.
Yeah.
It's probably already gone.
So how about that Spyro? Okay, so I guess um
I just want more Sergeant Bird.
yeah. Okay, okay, so first off, I guess with Spyro 4 the current like I don't know if it's a rumor, if it's like it's like loosely confirmed in a sense, like Toys for Bob are making a Spyro 4 or a Spyro game right now. We don't really know what their direction is, but yeah, I guess we'll just kind of talk a bit about what we would like to see. What do you guys think about the idea of a Spyro 4 in the first place? I guess just to start off.
Uh, Highly interested. Not the biggest fan of Spyro 1 and 2. Spyro 3, pretty great.
Okay.
I liked the Legend of Spyro all two relevant games of that series.
Right.
But I don't know if I'd want them to do that again if they're doing with Spyro what they did with Crash. Basically, just keep the story and the stakes to the same level as Spyro 3.
Yeah.
Don't push it into the deeper, darker storytelling of the Legend of Spyro series.
Yeah, if they're gonna keep it classic Spyro, I don't think Legend of Spyro would really that kind of tone would really fit. I think the thing with Spyro 4, um, like compared to Crash, they don't have like a sequel that's missing basically, because like the the original sequels after Crash 3 kind of just ignore the ending of Crash 3 and just uh what is it? The status quo is just back to what it was like beforehand. Um and there was just generally a missing piece there. With Spyro, it doesn't really have that, so it's like, I don't really know what you do there.
Hmm.
Because it's like Enter the Dragonfly is a very clear continuation. So it's either you just like story wise, you just kind of start over from after Spyro 3 and just pretend those games didn't happen, or you just uh I go off on the was it after Shadow Legacy or whatever the last classic game was, um, which I feel like you may as well just um go. I feel like you may as well just make Enter the Dragonfly but good, because that game pretty much was Spyro 4.
Yeah. The problem
It,
it barely was a game,
Yeah,
and that's kind of where people come from when they want a real Spyro 4, not his something.
yeah. I
Like
mean,
it's really hard to talk about that game because
yeah, I mean, I don't know how
it's also one of my first games.
I don't know how you guys would feel about this, but it's like, um, with the Crash stuff, the post Naughty Dog sequels added like a lot of things that, um, I would like be sad to see removed or forgotten about. Whereas with Spyro, um, the games post free, like, I feel like you're not really missing that much, and like the stuff that is well liked, like stuff like I don't know, Cinder in the Legend series and stuff like that. You can just reintroduce those characters in a new uh way. Um
Which,
like
to be fair, I would like to see that happen.
yeah. So
Like
I,
all the characters.
yeah, I think we're restarting with
The character more.
yeah, I think removing the post game Spyro after Spyro 3 is a lot less um like you're not removing a lot of stuff people like as opposed to if you did that with Crash. I feel um
what was I saying? Is the I know the games aren't particularly popular, but it's like because the stories weren't really the issue. So it's like, what do you gain from getting rid of everything?
yeah, no, I get that. I think my argument to that is basically like you don't really lose anything by continuing, but I think it would be a good idea. I think it would also be a good idea to reintroduce the characters that were in those sequels and put them in a uh like put them in a game that is in theory more liked, or like maybe give the characters more uh stuff to do, or like flesh them out a bit more. I don't know.
I mean, there is a possibility of that, but it's also like if we have to retread their introductions again, it just feels like you're. This is why I hate talking about reboots.
Yeah, no, this is it's a very weird thing to like discuss because we don't really know what direction they would take with this. I imagine like that there's probably a lot of headaches in the like office just trying to figure out what they should do.
I mean, it's probably one of the key reasons for why the game is so heavily delayed. Well, we say delayed and not traditionally delayed, as if we've ever gotten a day of which we expected this game. No, I say it
Yeah.
more so in a sense of it's delayed because it's been through development hell.
Yeah, I mean, there's also the fact that Toys for Bob themselves have gone through a lot of massive changes in the past couple of years. So that doesn't exactly help things. Uh, yeah.
I don't keep in touch with like hardcore Spyro fandom.
No, I don't
I've no
either.
way.
No, I don't
Not to the
either.
extent that I kind of keep in touch with Crash fandom. But like I
The
don't know, like you could as crass as this is to say, you could probably get away with like throwing Blink into the abyss more than you could get away with throwing Crunch or Nina into the abyss. But I still
True.
wouldn't do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
I kind of would though. I
I
I
would.
mean, tell us if there is any person in the world listening to this podcast that actually cares about Blink.
I I mean I think my thing is that the original okay, so the original ending like the special ending you get as you get all the skill points in Spyro 3 tease a sequel hook where Nasty Knock and Ripto are going to team up, and because the development for the sequels was scuffed, they basically cut that in half. Whereas Enter the Dragonfly had Ripto, and then Hero's Tale had a Nasty Knock. And I would like to see that sequel hook actually get properly realized. Like the idea of two of the previous main villains teaming up together for a sequel is a cool idea, and I would like that to actually happen. So I don't know. I guess
People do like a team up.
yeah, I think I would just like the idea of taking the general design concept of what Enter the Dragonfly was, retool it because in a way where it's basically unrecognizable. Like don't call it Enter the Dragonfly because
Dear God, no.
like that's pretty much just gonna be dead on arrival. Like the um like it,
That's like sailing the Titanic too. It's not happening.
yeah, like it. I think it should be a case of hardcore fans can like notice that this is supposed to be the game if it was actually a finished video game, but like your casual players are just gonna be like, oh, it's a cool new Spyro game, and like not gonna think twice about it.
Mm.
Like that's probably what I would like to see them do. I don't know if they would do that though.
It's interesting, which is the whole point, to be fair.
Like I will say this, like talking about like reintroducing characters, I think it would work if they brought in Cinder because like she's not been in a classic game before, so I think seeing a new take of that character because like people really like Cinder, so seeing her redefined for the classics universe would be interesting.
You could actually do a lot of classic style storytelling by having Cinder and Ember butting heads.
I can see that happening, yeah.
There is a lot you could do with that.
I guess like
I guess
okay. Oh wait, what are you gonna say?
I was saying that could maybe just lead into I guess another request I have. I don't know, more playable dragons.
Yeah, that would be cool. Like honestly, from what I've seen of the third Legend of Spyro game, I don't like mind the idea of a Spyro and a Cinder being like co-op partners and like they both have like different elemental breaths. Like I think that would be a cool thing to try and capitalize on. Um, like I think if anything, I would like to see the different elemental breaths come back because
Oh, absolutely.
that's one of the best new things that Enter the Dragonfly introduced, but it didn't really he didn't really do much with it in that game. So I would like a game to like expand on that more.
I think at this point, the elemental breaths is actually a staple of the franchise.
Yeah, I mean it's been in most games after ETD, I think.
I mean, it was already flirted with in Year of the Dragon, and then Enter the Dragonfly had its season of Ice and Flame had it, I think.
Mm. I think both Spyro 2 and 3 had an ice power up. So
I know there was definitely a cold level in Spyro 3 where you were just so fucking cold you were breathing ice.
Yeah, I think that's what we're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, so stuff like that would be cool. I guess like I was gonna ask, since we're on the Enter the Dragonfly thing, would we prefer like a redo of that game or just something completely new, like just from the ground
By the
up? Just
time I probably spoke about this at length during the LP from years ago, but by the time one has to by the time you're done, kind of, I guess, redoing most of that game's level design, because yeah, a good portion of it needs to be redone.
yeah,
You're not even really playing a remake; you're playing a reimagining. Like, keep the
yeah,
general level aesthetics and the plot of missing dragonflies and giving them to the baby dragons and Ripto still being around. But at that point, just redo level design, add more levels, and yeah, maybe you can work in Nasty Nork. And if you want to keep the old continuity, then you can kind of use that to kind of foreshadow his role in A Hero's Tale.
yeah. Maybe make it more clear of how Ripto survived. I guess because it's just like it's it's kind of just glossed over. Um, and that's like something that everyone brings up with Enter the Dragonfly. Uh,
That's why we need Mecha Ripto, obviously.
yeah.
Just T1000 him.
I'm sorry, I cut out, or you cut out. I don't know what did you say?
I think everyone's cutting out.
Yeah, there's a quality. Me or Joey?
You
what was the last thing you heard me say?
something about someone surviving. I don't know
Uh,
what you're talking about.
Right.
The fact that Ripto survives in like after Spyro 2, like that's just kind of glossed over, and I feel like since that's something everyone brings up. If they did bring back Ripto, I feel like they should probably say something about how he came back. Uh,
Magic King gotta explain Jack.
I mean, yeah,
Um,
but I think
I mean,
Cop
maybe
out.
something as simple as like Spyro going like, "How did you survive? What was going on?" Instead of just being like, "Oh, Ripto, what are you doing here?" It's like I feel like it should be acknowledged at least.
I guess. I mean, the sorcerer survived lava, so I don't think it's impossible for others to survive it.
Maybe not.
No, the question they really need to answer is it Nasty Nork with an N, or is it spelt with a silent G that everyone pronounces as an insult? Because
I always assumed that like the was it the TV guy was just pronouncing it wrong, um, and like it's supposed to be Nasty Nork and not Ganasty, because like the way he's like overly pronouncing it as well just kind of gives off that impression.
hmm. And what's going on with that extra G in Nork?
I don't know.
I think
Uh,
see, this is what happens when you get Fox Deuce to do an expose on some guy that just wants to live in his castle far, far away, surrounded by lava with all his money.
Ugly. That does it.
I don't know. He's an orc adopted by gnomes or something.
I didn't even make that connection, dude. All these years, I never made the connection that he was a gnome orc.
Oh yeah. Um, I guess moving off from like story or like what the general concept of a Spyro 4 should be. What about like just actual gameplay wise?
Yeah,
Uh
what are we collecting?
like what are we doing? Like what's the general I think if we're gonna go with the dragonflies thing, I think that would be fine. But
I think they should step away from the dragonflies. It's
hmm,
too close to home with a broken concept.
It's
maybe?
fine. You just get rid of the bubble breath. They're just collectibles at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Just don't
There
just
was
don't make them have
nothing
to
wrong with the bubble breath.
No,
just don't make the player have to chase them down. Like they're
the the problem with the bubble breath is that the hitbox was just jank. Like it just never worked.
You could say that about everything in that game.
Well, yeah. I think it's the fact that the dragonflies run away from you and it's like really annoying to catch them half the time. It's just Yeah, that could I could have done without that.
I'd say additionally, it's just as bad because on top of the fact that they had
Uh, on top of the fact they have what?
Okay, so
on
it
top,
wasn't me.
there was one thief in the entire game.
I mean that's just Dragonfly being rushed to hell and
Uh,
back. Like there was like one instance where you were like give money bags like gems. Like there's
yeah, in the first level.
yeah, like this unfortunate.
Moneybags learnt his lesson, did it one more time, and left. Freaking retired on that one bag of gems. He never needed them all.
Yeah.
He learnt his lesson. And the lesson was quit while you're ahead.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I don't really know what else to say about gameplay stuff other than I would just like a continuation of what Spyro 3 did.
I want the flying mechanic from the future series.
Okay, you're gonna have to explain a bit on that then.
Okay, so in the
Uh huh.
yeah, anyway. So in the third game, there is a flying mechanic. So it's not just gliding per se.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of actually can fly around this open area.
Oh, the Legend series.
Yeah,
Okay,
so I want that.
that would be cool.
That's another thing. Make the levels bigger,
Hmm.
but don't make them too open.
I
Don't
think
be afraid to get claustrophobic with your level design.
the thing I like about Spyro level design is I like what they do with the like stuff like the gliding and whatnot. It's like it Spyro's moveset is generally built in a way where you can do stuff that other platformer characters can't do. And I do like it when they capitalize on that more. Um,
Mm.
so I would like stuff like making big leaps to faraway platforms or um, experimenting more with your gliding. Like um, I like being rewarded for thinking outside of the box with that stuff. So that would be nice to see expanded on. Um,
The completionist stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Honestly, like if you're talking about like main collectibles, I would with how diverse the dragon designs were in this Spyro 1 remake, I wouldn't mind if we were just finding dragons again.
Uh, I can see a good argument for that.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I think that would be cool. I mean,
What was it that Ripto did? The magic gems or something?
uh, I mean,
I did
In
already
this,
preface that like I didn't really play one or two.
I mean, Ripto, like the thing with Spyro 2 is that like the collectibles don't really have much to do with Ripto at all. You're just kind of collecting orbs.
you collect the orbs and talismans from the talismans are really the main collectible, but
Yeah,
those are just kind of like they're the character they're the strong moral character badges Ash would get in a Pokemon anime, but for
pretty
Spyro.
much, pretty much. I think what I would like to see in for the collectibles in general is to have like more of a story like reason for collecting them. Like, stuff how Spyro 1 had the dragons, Spyro 3 had the dragon eggs. I would prefer that over, just randomly finding orbs by doing challenges that are like
The
kind of just
orb.
have nothing to do with anything. They're just kind of they're pretty much just the game's collectible because it's a collectible. Like it's not as I don't think that's as satisfying. Whereas when you save a dragon or you find a dragon egg, you actively feel like you're working towards your goal better, I think.
Yeah.
The
Um,
or- I mean, the orbs had a story purpose. They were the means which Spyro can get home, was able to get summoned and can go home.
that's fair. I mean that is true. Um, but like I don't think it's as strong. Um, it's more I don't know. It feels to me the orbs felt more like I'm just collecting this because it's the game's collectible, and it's not like actively making a difference finding them.
You're collecting the orbs because that's how Spyro gets home in 100%. But
Yeah, that's fine, but
unless you want him to stay in Avalon forever, away from his friends and family.
I mean, I would say that Avalor is a cool place. Like, it's
So you're okay with Spyro being trapped in Avalon forever?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Okay, cool. Well, guess he's never finding them collectibles then, because they're
Yeah.
just a pain in the ass. Avalon's just based, I guess.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't know.
I don't think the devs wanted to hear that.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, either way though. I mean that is like the method of actually like getting the dragonflies was a nuisance, but it does apply to that game as well. Like the fact that you are finding the dragonflies, I think, did it is similar feel to me as like finding like dragon eggs or something. Like it's actually finding them is actively important. Um,
Yeah.
like
Keeping in mind that the dragonflies help, like, so as stated in Spyro 3, the dragons had the magic, but like also the dragons don't have magic without their companion dragonflies. There
yeah,
is a symbiotic relationship with the magical system in that universe.
or you can, or just say, as what was it, Kadokura says, like you gotta find the baby dragonflies, otherwise, the other baby dragons can't use them as human shields.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, it's not wrong.
He like mechanically no, he's not. Plot
Uh,
wise, no, he's not.
yeah, we're gonna have multiple Sparks dialogue.
Yes, more Sparks needs more lines of dialogue.
Hmm.
Sparks also needs to go back to only saying buzz buzz buzz.
Okay, I guess.
I mean, I
Yeah.
assume Sparks would be. I assume if it's a classic sequel, then yeah, he'll just be buzzing, which is I think what he already does in Skylanders, and he has the same voice actor.
Hmm.
Wanted to mimic
You all can
Sparks,
hear me,
the
right?
noise Sparks made.
I heard
Yes.
Skylanders, Sparks.
Oh, I
I
didn't
hate
hear
my
Skylanders.
gosh darn computer. What is with this thing? It's crap, more crap than usual.
I don't know what's going on today, to be honest.
Oh gee, almost like when my computer broke and I Frankenstein our parts together, it's like I knew there were going to be problems. Now I'm very desperately trying to replace parts again.
Yeah. Is what you saying? Skylanders, Spyro, or Sparks voice?
I'm saying that if a new classic sequel is happening, Sparks will probably just be back to buzzing, which is what he already does in Skylanders, and his
Hmm.
VA in Skylanders is the same one as the VA from Year of the Dragon.
Okay. Um. Speaking of
Unacceptable.
Sparks,
You implied Skylanders did something right.
speaking of Sparks though, or just like voices in general.
Skylanders probably has a better quality ratio of its mainline games than either prior continuity.
Probably.
I'm not arguing that, but I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
On a personal level, not a practical level.
Probably. I mean, I think the Spyro trilogy probably has like a higher quality like ceiling, I guess. Whereas like, um, the Skylanders games are probably more consistent, but I don't. I mean, I don't know much about the game, so I can't speak much on them. But
Oh no, I said continuity, so not just the PS1 trilogy for Classic Spyro. I mean the whole run up till 2005.
right, yeah. Uh, but I was just saying, like, I think I was more so saying that the quality ceiling for classic Spyro is probably higher, like including all the stuff after Spyro 3. But like Skylanders is probably has a more consistent level of quality, I guess. Uh, but I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
I mean, you died for me, so
Great.
even though
I
I
think we
can't
all
even
just have
continue.
mutually bad internet today.
Yeah, like what the heck is going on? This is a great episode.
Is there a solar flare going on right now?
Maybe.
Who knows? Okay, stuff I'd like to see in a new Spyro game. Well, I just like it to exist first and foremost, so
True.
they can,
Mood.
the sooner we get a new Spyro game, the sooner we can get a new Crash game. That's my take on it. I'm an asshole, but no, that fandom has been waiting long enough. Like, how is it that Spyro technically managed to avoid death longer than Crash in one way or another, and now it's just gone?
Yeah, I mean, I guess there is the fact that Crash in general is just inherently more popular. So I get it. Like the Crash had more remakes, and it had like a new game before Spyro did. Um, so it's like I get it. I do think I do think we should get a Spyro anything before a Crash 5 or Crash Bippity Boppity Boo, whatever the heck the next game would be. Um, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, all we know is they can't call it It's About Time. I mean, they can, but they
It's
really
about time
fucking
part
should.
2
Oh
with
god, no, that'd be insane if they finally did the full AAA modern day Crash and Spyro crossover game.
I mean they almost did. Do you guys know about the cancelled Crash 5 stuff?
No.
I've heard snippets of it.
Okay. Uh okay, you mentioned the Crash and Spyro thing. All you really need to know to do with that is apparently the premise of the game was that Uka was gonna mess up like different worlds, and it included Spyro's world. And then Crash and Spyro had to team up to like just stuff and like it. I don't think it, from what I understand, it didn't really go past the concept art stages, but the certainly interesting. I would like to see a actual Crash and Spyro crossover for like as an actual platformer. But I don't think we should get that before an actual Spyro 4. I mean, that's what I think, anyways.
So, in Forrest Gump,
Uh huh.
when Forrest, after fighting in Vietnam and healing up, has been dragged onto the stage during the peace protest, and
Mm.
then someone pulls the goddamn power cord out of the uh, speaker array.
Yeah.
That keeps happening.
Oh, so did you not hear me?
No,
Oh, for God's sake! This is awful. This is like the
keep,
worst episode. Did you hear me? Did you hear what I said,
microphone
Scrappy?
quality is independently awful as well.
Psst.
I heard my name. What happened?
Did you hear what
He's alive.
Did you hear what I said about Crash 5 or whatever?
I heard the pitched crossover for Crash and Spyro. I heard that.
Okay,
Okay,
so that was a me issue.
right.
I
Right.
mean, Harry cut out a few times for me, so
So that's an us issue then.
yeah.
I like the part where he said the words about the thing.
Okay, long story short, Crash and Spyro are gonna team up to stop Uka from doing bad stuff. The end.
Bet down. 5,000 copies.
And I was just saying after the fact that I would like seeing an actual crossover between Crash and Spyro would be cool, but I would like to see a new Spyro game beforehand because I think Spyro deserves a new game before that, but just by himself.
The fact that we are nearly 5 years removed from It's About Time is depressing me.
Yeah.
That was 5 years ago?
October 2020.
What the hell?
Like, it predates us starting the book, Joey.
What the hell?
Bruh. The fact anything predates the book, by the way. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I'd just like to see a new Spyro game exist and be given the time it needs. And as far as gameplay goes, well, first and foremost, fix that frickin' camera so I don't feel sick playing it.
Yeah.
What, was the camera in About Time that bad?
No, Spyro.
Something,
Yeah.
something about the Spyro games cameras just is something about it just messes with me.
Yeah.
And it's been a recurring issue playing the games for the better part of 15 years and then watching Harry play the games for the better part of 10 years.
Yeah.
Yes, all the way back in 2015.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I guess the other question then is like gameplay wise, would you guys want it to be more like the classic series or like a different or something different? Like like
Since
just an expansion on Spyro 3, I guess, or just um I don't know, do something different.
I'm fine with either or, but I'm like, if Crash 4 stuck to the general formula, then I feel like it seems fair enough to keep Spyro as is, just refine it. So I think what you could do first and foremost is if you're gonna have extra characters, man, make them as polished as Spyro is. I don't want to suffer through Agent 9 sections again.
Oh, that is another thing I was gonna ask as well. Would we want it to be just a purely Spyro experience, or would we want to have the other playable characters? Because that's like a bit of a
Alright,
contentious
hear
topic.
me out, right? It isn't a Spyro experience if you don't have the other playable characters.
Mm.
That's my argument.
Fair enough. I mean, I will say like I do enjoy having the other playable characters. I think I would like to see them fleshed out more because I think some characters in Spyro 3 were better than others.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
like uh,
That's why they were more prominent on the UK version of the box.
yeah, like I, stuff like that. I would prefer if we just didn't have stuff like Bentley boxing. Like that can I could do without that.
But
But
he was still one of the better written characters in the game.
well, that's the thing. Like I like Bentley's like gameplay, but I don't think there's enough sections to that flesh out his gameplay enough. Um, and
But he had to get to the boxing match. We
yeah,
had to see that part.
because
That was very important to the plot.
because the thing with Bentley's sections is that he has like mini game sections like that are like completely different from his regular gameplay. So you don't really get a lot of chances to play Bentley as he normally is for the like normal like platforming stuff. And I don't know. I would like to see less of the annoying mini games with these characters, I guess. Uh
Just make better levels.
Pretty much that's pretty much what it boils down to.
Or you'll
Um
send Joe to eat the face of the level designer of Crash 2.
um yeah. You know,
Peak
I
meme.
think I just like it. To me it comes down to enjoying the variety in Spyro 3 because I think the fact that you only play as Spyro in 1 and 2, 2 especially, uh for me it makes it get a little bit tiresome. Like I like that you're constantly doing new things in Spyro 3, including stuff like the skateboard. Um
Okay, the skateboard was absolutely peak, and I'm glad they did it 3 times.
yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing the maybe the skateboard should stay as a Spyro 3 gimmick, but I wouldn't mind seeing it come back. But
I was crap at it, but I wouldn't mind seeing them try it again.
Are you
yeah.
saying that you're not good enough to pull off the nasty Nork?
I think I pulled it off at least once, but I'm not. That doesn't mean I was necessarily good at it.
If you ever
Right.
beat the game, you did beat it. You did pull off the nasty Nork once.
Look, I've been able. Look, I got gold relic on Area 51 in Crash 3 once. Doesn't mean I doesn't mean I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So
But yeah.
I used to be good at games, honest.
Back in my day,
Back in my day.
these kids
Um,
don't appreciate good game design anymore.
Back in my day, we didn't have to get the platinum relics to get the true ending.
True.
I love Crash 4.
doesn't
You
mean
just had to get.
Crash 4
You
doesn't
just
love
had
you
to get
though,
the
Harry.
gems.
That's something I learned.
Yeah.
Okay, characters. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing them. I enjoyed Spyro 2. I enjoy Spyro 2 probably more than anyone else in this call right now, but
Probably.
yeah, sometimes you want to take a break, I guess. Jumping ahead in the timeline, I guess, but from the LP of Crash of the Titans that we're recording right now, will probably be uploaded next year.
You guys
I-
actually doing that?
Yeah,
Yes.
we're doing that right now, yeah.
Oh.
So I kind of talked about, I guess gradual integration, some would say dilution of the 3D platformer subgenre over time with additional like play styles and other genre conventions.
Mm.
It's like I say that happened in 6th gen or hit a peak in 6th gen, but honestly it was already happening in 5th gen. Like especially for like the franchises that were like going already like on their second or third game in that during like the PlayStation generation. Like Spyro 3 is an everything game, and that's part of why I like it, but and I can understand some folks you all can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. No,
I'm
we can actually hear you for
yeah,
once. Like,
I'm
like there's
actually
no
like
roll going.
listening to what you're saying right now, yeah.
Oh, okay. So Spyro 3 is it's in some respects like it's up there with like Crash 3 and Sonic Adventures, I guess.
I say more
As is,
SA1 specifically because SA1 is went absolutely crazy with different gameplay styles. SA2 at least like reined it in a bit.
so it's up there and just kind of being that roulette style of 3D platformer. You have a bunch of critters and they all kind of play differently, go
Yeah.
nuts or don't.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a product of the time as well. Like, it is interesting just going through the eras for games where, uh, what is it? The usually with these like long running franchises, they'll have the first game which is like goes through a lot of growing pains, and then the sequel like Crash 2, Spyro 2 is like it takes the elements from the first game and just refines that. And then the third game is usually where they just go crazy with experimentation, and it tends to be like your favorite or least favorite depending on who you ask, because it's like they tend to go pretty wild with game design concepts with the third game. Um, but and then I guess like with the sixth generation specifically, that was the period where the more edgy kind of stuff was more popular. So you had stuff like Jack 2 or like Ratchet had more emphasis on like guns and just combat stuff. And then you have your Legend of Spyro reboots that's more lack of a better term, more edgy, story driven stuff like that. And I just think that's kind of fascinating. I guess.
So I'm nodding along. I heard you. I'm nodding along.
Yeah, no, I yeah.
So I guess where would I want a new Spyro game to fall in that? Where would I want it to fall in that grand continuum? I guess. eh, I mean, I guess do what Year of the Dragon and Hero's Tale did, but better. Like
Yeah.
Spyro is the star of Spyro, but I guess like if we're gonna have quote unquote gimmick characters and polish them up a little more.
Um, I was gonna ask, since we're just on the topic of other playable characters, who would we want to see be the secondary playable characters in the Spyro 4? Because like, I don't know if we'd want to just like do Spyro 3 too and just have Sheila, Agent 9, Bentley, and Sergeant Bird again. Like, would we want to just do that, or would we want different characters?
Not the exact same lineup as Year of the Dragon or a Hero's Tale, unless they.
Hmm.
I mean, maybe a Hero's Tale if you just give it like someone's gonna probably just deserve a second chance, but yeah, I'd say just a different lineup. You can pick and choose between those two, and maybe add some folks who didn't get to be playable at all before. Like,
Yeah.
um, technically, hmm. Spyro, obviously, I kind of think Sparks should be playable in some capacity, even if it's like just those top-down shooter levels again.
They
Hmm.
were amazing.
That would be cool. I would like to see the Sparks levels get expanded on. This is mainly just because like I definitely hear the issues with Agent 9 in the original Spyro 3, but Reignited like updated the gameplay for Agent 9 so well that I would love to see them like bring that back and just, use Reignited as a base level and just go to town with it, cuz yeah, that gameplay was so much better in the remake that it's like I don't mind Agent 9 in the original game, but it's definitely very wonky. Whereas in the Reignited remake, I kind of got sad at the lack of or like um the lack of Agent 9. So I definitely would like to see more of that personally. Um but uh
I feel like Hunter deserves another chance to be played as. It's weird
yeah.
how prominent he is in the series, but he's only been playable like maybe twice.
Yeah, I would like seeing Hunter and maybe even Bianca be playable. I think those would be cool because I feel like you could do something unique with that, like something that this. I mean, you could probably loosely base Hunter off of Hero's Tale, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like that's something they could play around with a lot.
And if she is not just going to be like a skin for Spyro, then yeah, I'd like to see Cinder playable in some capacity.
That's okay. Yeah, that's fair. I honestly, in terms of Cinder, I wouldn't mind it if they just did like if they just did a similar thing to the third Legend game where it's a co-op thing. Like I don't know, maybe it'll overcomplicate the level design, but um, like maybe having it so you can switch between Spyro or Cinder on the fly if you're playing by yourself. But if you're playing it with like a second player, then both of you can just go around the worlds together at the same time. I don't know how that would work in practice, but that could be
Only way I could see
interesting.
it is only way I could see it is like split screen, and they just kind of let you go around a stage, maybe let them like block off some of like the bonus rooms, but
Yeah.
like
So
which kind of sounds like the planned idea for the fabled Super Mario 64 2.
Yeah, Mario and Luigi at co-op stuff. Yeah.
I will be forever annoyed that they never that I'll just be forever annoyed that never got off the ground. Like the N64 was a graveyard for canceled
Yeah, I mean
projects.
that's a whole nother thing, but like, um, it's really funny. Like, Miyamoto kept on saying, "Oh, Mario 64 2 is totally still happening. We just need to finish Zelda 64, which turned into Ocarina of Time." But like, Zelda had its own like development problems. There's like the reason why that game took so long to come out was because like it took ages for them to actually like finish that game after well just trying to figure out 3D Zelda itself, and also the disk drive failing made it so they had to change a lot of stuff about the game because you know you had to rework it for a regular cartridge. So like that's a whole like can of worms.
They could make that a topic for a future podcast. Hey, what canceled N64 game do you meant not seeing the most?
Yeah, I mean that would be an interesting one.
speaking of future podcasts, I have a train to catch tomorrow, and it is almost 2 a.m.
Well,
And it did take us a little while to find the topic, which is unfortunate.
yeah.
All right, then. Well, I think I've said most of my piece, so
Yeah, I mean, if Spyro 4 happens, I'd like to see what they do. I
As I
yeah,
say, I want a very Spyro free like game, but with like Crash 4 length.
with less BS, 100%.
Less BS. I mean like base length. I don't mean like 250%
Okay, yeah,
mirror
yeah.
gems and relics.
I think just going to the end, not caring about 100% completion. I think Crash 4's length is just fine.
some of those levels could have been a little shorter.
Yeah, so, yeah, yeah. I mean,
I mean, it's gonna be a collectathon anyway, with like collect all 10 million gems over the freaking 10 worlds. But like,
yeah. I mean, I don't mind that. Like, Spyro is inherently meant to be more laid back in general. So I don't like the length of the stages isn't as much of a factor to me. But yeah, I don't know. I guess like similar if it's like a similar general game length to like Spyro 2 or 3, I think that would be just fine. I don't think it needs to be like too much longer than that. I don't think we need to have like a 50-hour Spyro game. Like not every game needs to be that length. So,
no, it doesn't need to be 50 hours.
yeah.
If I got a solid 15-hour Spyro game, that's already massively exceeding the expectations of everyone from a classic Spyro consideration.
Yeah, some a
And
game.
you've also got to think the game and level design does need to be open enough for speedrunners to love it. Because Spyro is a speedrunner's game.
Yeah, I mean, I would like if it would just to say like speedrunner stuff. I would like to see a post game reward, like similar to how if you get 100% in Spyro 2, you get infinite flame breath, and you can start a new game with that from the start. I would like to see something similar to a Spyro 4, as like, you know, if you finish the game and then you want to just go to town and have fun, then that would be a cool reward. I would like to see that.
What would be a really cool reward is if there's like a sub 10-minute game completion message that pops up.
I want to see this running gag at this point, but I want to see like this really difficult like secret platform or something that's like really hard to get to, and you think there's gonna be a massive reward, and then there's just a message saying, "Oh, there's nothing here. Screw you. Go away."
Like Grand Theft Auto did that several times.
That would just be funny. I would like to see that.
Like the fact because Grand Theft Auto did it in several games. They did it. You got onto a part of the bridge that you're not supposed to get onto, and it says there is no Easter egg. It itself being an Easter egg. There was a way of getting inside the Statue of Liberty in GTA 4, and the Statue of Liberty had a chained beating heart. Yeah,
Wow.
still need to play that game. Like
Yeah.
I've just got it sitting there, so it's on my to-do list.
Yeah, if Spyro 4 gets announced this year, which I doubt, but if it does, then yeah,
Switch 2 launch title would be
yeah,
fucking. That would
mm,
go crazy.
yeah. So if it gets announced this year, we are profits, I guess.
Well, Seas absolutely profits from it.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure MO. So you know,
yeah. I think. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the most of it. Yeah. I would just like. I mean, yeah. I would just like to see the game exist first off, but you know.
I just want to hear an announcement, even if it gets delayed to 2028.
And yeah, I mean, if it is a different direction than just a classic Spyro game, I'd be. I would like to see what they do. I'd like to see how they handle it, but
Spyro Bash.
God, wow.
Just right out of the gate, the worst game idea ever. Let's go.
Yeah.
Do you mean like a? I'm sorry, you said Spyro Bash, like a Crash Bash of Spyro or a game jam for Spyro game ideas?
Uh, it would be Spyro Crash Bash, a story-driven party game.
I don't know about maybe as a spin-off down the line, but definitely not as a game to bring back the series.
It shouldn't happen just outright.
I don't know.
That is just a bad idea.
A Spyro party game would be weird.
Sonic couldn't manage it.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, thank you for listening. We've been SEESCast. I've been Joe, and will continue to be Joe.
Maybe, or maybe we'll turn into someone else.
I might be.
I'm Scrappy Fan 92. You probably heard like 1/3 of my dialogue, so not
To
sure
be
what to
fair,
make of
that is more than average.
True.
It's true, but it still hurts.
The truth hurts. And the other guy's Harry.
Yeah, I exist.
Don't-
Maybe.
He's not important. Not
Yeah,
like me.
not really. No.
He's not the main character.
And maybe in the next episode we'll actually talk about the original topic we wanted to do today, but couldn't. So.
Maybe we'll talk about Sword Art Online. Who knows?
Oh no!
For the first time ever, our
Yeah.
thoughts of Sword Art Online
Dude,
on camera.
It's
Completely unheard of.
It's genuinely been so long that I might have to just rewatch the show just to remember stuff.
Every single time I rewatch the first season of that show, I hate it a little more.
That sounds about right.
But it hadn't been long enough for me to rewatch the 3 seasons of season 3, so I might have different opinions of the Forever War.
Like, it's been so long since we. I mean, okay, this is stuff that's probably doesn't need to be talked about on the air, but yeah. Do we want to just stop the podcast here and then, like, for a minute, just like talk about the SAO stuff?
We can talk about SAO stuff off air and discuss if we will ever talk about SAO stuff on air.
Yeah, boy.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, I think that's fine to stop here. So, Hopefully see you guys in the in like 2 weeks from now.
Take care, everyone.
Meh.